discuss the topic. As you can see on the board, is a refraction at a spherical surface. So what is a spherical refracting surface? The spherical refracting surface, it consists of two mediums. It separates two mediums like the denser and the rarer medium. So one part, like the lens, we have the concave lens and the convex lens. So one part is spherical, the other surface of the spherical refracting surface is an irregular. Mainly it is made up of glass. So let us see what is about the spherical refracting surface, how to calculate the different types of formulas related with the spherical refracting surface. So we will be going through this video. So let us go through it.
We have seen how light refracts through a plane interface of two transparent media. The laws of refraction are applicable even when the interface separating the two transparent media is spherical in shape. Now let us study the refraction of light at a spherical surface in detail. Let C be the center of curvature of the spherical surface, AB be the principal axis, and B be the point of intersection of the spherical surface and the principal axis. If a ray of light is incident on the spherical surface, it refracts to the second medium. In order to apply the
this is a spherical refracting surface. As you can see in my diagram, this is a spherical refracting surface. This you can see, this is bulging outwards, so that means it is a convex refracting surface. And you can see the other side is a plane. But if you will see in your book, this will be remaining as a irregular shape. Now, as we know, this the inside, the blue part, this is your denser medium. The outside, the white part is your rare medium, because that is a medium glass. Then inside the spherical refracting surface, we have this C, that is the center of curvature. This P, which is called as a pole, and this line, okay, this line is your principal axis. Now, suppose if a light ray is incident from the rarer medium towards the denser medium. As you can see, the light ray is coming from the rare to the denser medium. So when it incidents on the refracting surface, okay, when it incidents on the refracting surface, so what will happen if I consider a diagram now? Let me show you. This is the center of curvature. So the normal regarding this will be your line which will be passing through your center. Clear? This is your normal on this surface, and that normal will be passing through your center of curvature. So this incident ray, when it enters into the denser medium, we know that the light ray bends towards the normal. Okay, light ray bends towards the normal. So this light ray, as you can see, this light ray, it will be going and intersecting at this point. Okay, it will be going and intersecting at this point. So at the point of intersection, there will be your image formation. Okay, there will be your image formation. So here will be your eye. Okay, so object is placed at infinity, your image will be forming at this point. Okay, now let us see the next part of the diagram.
Normal to the spherical surface at the point of incidence. Normal to the spherical surface at any point can be drawn by joining the point to the center of curvature C. For example, if P, N and N are three different points on the spherical surface, then PC, MC and NC are the three markers at the 3 points mentioned.
And that will be also called as a radius of curvature.
That the first medium is optically rarer compared to the second medium. And place point object O on the principal axis in the rarer medium. Now consider the light ray OP. Since it is incident normally on the spherical surface, the ray OP propagates to the denser medium without any deviation. Whereas, rays like OM and ON after refraction bend towards the normal because they pass from rarer to a denser medium.
So as you have seen how does the speckle refracting surface works. Now let us go through a derivation regarding to the speckle refracting surface, the relation between the refractive index and the focal length related with the speckle refracting surface. Let us go through the derivation. Now if you see the diagram here, we have considered the speckle refracting surface. Now we have the object, the pole, the center of curvature. Now suppose if I consider the object, the light ray is going from the object towards the speckle refracting surface. Outer medium is here, inside medium is denser. Draw a normal. Okay, the light ray will be bending towards the normal. So the light ray will be bending towards the normal. So the image formation will be at this point. Consider this point as O. Okay, if you consider that point as O, since this is a normal, this will be your angle of incidence. Okay, this will be angle of incidence. This will be your angle of refraction. Okay, next we can consider this angle as angle beta. Okay, this angle is your angle beta. This angle you can consider as an angle alpha. Alpha, beta, angle of refraction and angle I. So here the question is like this. We need to prove that. Your question will be in different way. Derive a relationship between object distance, image distance and radius of curvature of a convex speckle refracting surface. Or maybe the question will be in this way. Minus of n1 by u plus it is n2 by v is equals to n2 minus of n1 divided by r1. So not r1, it is r. We need to prove this equation also. Maybe the question will be in this way. Okay, so there may be the two questions that I have already told you. Now let us find out. So for deriving this relationship, we have to use the Snell's law. So for using the Snell's law, what we need the angle of incidence and we need the angle of refraction value. But here in the diagram the value is not there, just the representation is there. So first of all, find out the value of angle of incidence and angle of refraction. Now if I consider from the triangle AOC, okay, from the triangle AOC. So what we can write from the triangle AOC, this is angle I. This is an exterior angle. The exterior angle is equals to the sum of the interior angles. Okay, sum of the interior angles of the triangle, but it should be the opposite angle. So the angle I will be equals to angle alpha. Okay, will be equals to angle alpha. Will be equals to angle alpha. Mark this angle as angle gamma. So it will be alpha plus gamma. Okay, I is equals to alpha plus gamma. Mark this as equation number 1. Similarly from triangle AIC. See in this triangle AIC, which one is the exterior angle? AIC. Obviously your exterior angle is gamma. So gamma will be equals to the sum of interior angles R plus beta. R plus beta. Take out the value of R from here. So R will be equals to gamma minus beta. Mark this is equation number 2. But we don't know what is alpha, what is gamma, what is beta. We need to find out that value also. Okay, so we'll be finding it by going through the derivations. So you can write it or you can draw the diagram. Okay, you can draw the diagram. So after this, what I will be doing, I will be finding now one by one what are the values now. Okay, now if I go by the triangle, see what will be the value of alpha. Alpha, this is the angle alpha. Okay, what I will be doing, I will be making a point N here. This N is almost nearby to the point P. Because for using the trigonometry, we need a right angle triangle. So I made a triangle ANO. So from the triangle ANO, you see what will be the value of alpha. Okay, let me calculate the value of alpha. So from the triangle A and O, your alpha angle will be, you have to use tan theta, okay, you have to use tan theta. So tan alpha, because the angles are very small, so in the ray optics what we used to do, if the angles are small, we don't use to consider tan, sin and cos, we directly write the angles. So alpha will be equals to, okay, alpha will be equals to, so if you use this triangle, it will be perpendicular by base. This will be perpendicular, this will be your base, so it will be AN by NO. Don't write ON. Remember, you have already done in class 10, the calculation should always be taken from the pole. So you have NO equals to, okay, equals to, this N is, since it is very closer to P, you can write this as PO also, AN by PO. Okay, similarly, if I go for the triangle beta, again you use a triangle ANI. ANI. Beta equals to, it will be AN by NI. Or we can write as AN by PI because N is very closer to P. Similarly, let us calculate the value of gamma. Gamma, if I use a triangle ANC, from the triangle ANC, gamma will be equals to, we can write equals to AN by NC, or we can write as AN by PC. So these are the values that we have got. Okay, so alpha, beta, gamma we have got. Now we need to put these values in equation 1 and 2. Okay, we'll be putting these values in equation number 1 and 2. So pause it, draw the diagram, write the values, okay, and proceed to the next step. Now if I put the values in equation number 1, we have I is equals to alpha plus gamma. So I is equals to alpha plus gamma, it will be equals to AN by PO, okay, plus gamma we have AN by PC. Similarly, equation number 2, we have R is equals to, we have I think it was gamma minus beta. Is it? Yes, it is gamma minus beta. So it will be AN by PC minus of gamma minus beta. So it will be AN by NF. Or we have written this as PI. So we have got I is equals to and R is equals to. Mark this is equation 3. This is equation number 4. Now what we can do, we can put all the values, that is this 3 and 4. Now I will be using the Snell's law. Using Snell's law. So using Snell's law, sin I by sin R. Okay, sine of angle of incidence by sine of angle of refraction. N1 medium and this is your N2 medium. Okay, sin I by sin R. The outside medium I have taken as N1, the inside medium I have taken as N2. So this will be equals to N2 by N1. Clear? Now you put the values of I and R in this equation. Okay, I and R in this equation. So if I put the value of I, so it will be, I am cancelling the sign, okay, because the angles are small. I will be putting the value of I. So AN, I think we can cancel the AN because in I also and R also, both will be having a common term. You do one thing, it will be I into N1, it will be R into N2. Just have cross multiplied. I into N1, R into N2. So if you take, here you can see on the both step, I and R, both AN is common. So we can directly cancel that part. I will be not writing that. Okay, I will be not writing that. I will be writing the next step. So the next step will be, it will be 1 by PO plus 1 by PC into N1 equals to, in place of R, I will be placing 1 by PC minus 1 by Pi into N2. So we have got these two expressions. Okay, 1 by PO plus 1 by PC into N1 is equals to 1 by PC minus 1 by Pi is equals to N2. Okay, now if you see your diagram, you go to the diagram. If you see in your diagram, what is PC and Pi, you can see in your diagram. Okay, let me show the diagram once. See, from P to C, this is your radius of curvature. Represented in your diagram, okay? From P to O is your object distance. From P to I is your image distance. According to the sign convention, as you already know, if I calculate P on the left hand side, any values that I calculate, the values on the left hand side, all values are taken as minus. On the right hand side of P, we always take the value as plus. This side plus, this side minus, above plus, below minus. That was our sign convention. You can follow this. Okay, minus x, plus x, minus x, plus y, minus y, your P will be here. This is according to the graphical method only. Now, you go on putting the values. Your PC will be radius of curvature, it will be plus r. Your Pi value will be your image distance, it will be plus v. PO will be your object distance. So, if I go on putting the values now in the equation that we have got now, so it will be implies 1 by PO, that will be 1 by minus u, plus 1 by PC, that will be 1 by radius of curvature, into M1 equals to 1 by PC, so it will be 1 by R, minus of 1 by Pi, again is on the right hand side, V into N2. Okay, then we have, we can do one thing, both left hand side and right hand side we have N2 and N1. And we have also R, we can take in on one side. So I will be putting R on this side, or you can do R put on that side. So it will be minus 1 by U into N1 plus 1 by V into N2 equals to 1 by R into N2. Bring this side, so it will be 1 by R into N1. Okay. Next step, I think we have already proved it. Already we have done it. So you can write minus of N1 by U plus N2 by V is equals to N2 by R minus of N1 by R. So as you can see, we have already proved the equation. You can see this equation. This is our equation. So we have proved it. Okay. So maybe your question will be a little bit different also. You see here we have considered the object in the rare medium. Your question may be, your object may be on the denser medium also. The diagram you have to complete by using the rules that you have got in class 10. That when the light ray goes from the denser to the rare medium, it bends away from the normal, rare to the denser medium, it bends towards the normal. That you have to follow. Okay, so this is our derivation, and this is also an important derivation for the exam. Okay, so in the next class, we'll be discussing about the next type of derivation, that we'll be discussing about the Lensmaker's formula. So thank you for today. We'll be continuing in the next class. Thank you.